This is the first video in the 16-inch sunflower tutorial series. Follow along with the sunflower playlist on YouTube to see the entire tutorial. This project uses the sunflower template from Especially Paper. The download includes both CVG and DXF files to use with your Silhouette or Cricut Explore craft cutter. I'll share a couple of different techniques for coloring the petals. I've already cut 36 petals using my Silhouette craft cutter. I've used 3 different shades of yellow cardstock to add variety and dimension. I'm using Artist Pastels from Pan Pastel. I love these. They are super soft and really easy to work with. To apply the color, I'm just using cosmetic sponges. These are the same ones that I use for my makeup in the morning. So start at the bottom with orange, and really any color you want, but I'm using orange because I want it to be a bit darker at the base, and rub up with the sponge, easing up on the pressure so that there's more color at the bottom. I'm also adding a little yellow at the tip. It's a little bit brighter than the paper, so it just adds a little more dimension, just another layer and a little bit of brightness. You can also add a little color to the back if you want. I know the back of my finished sunflower won't be seen, so I'm not going to add color to the back of the petals. Try to limit each sponge to one color to avoid muddying your colors. To speed things up a little, I'm going to add orange to each petal first and then go back and add the yellow tip. These pastels will stain your fingers. It's easy to wash off if you get just pastels on your hands. Usually I end up with both pastels and glue on my hands, which can be kind of difficult to remove. You may want to consider wearing some latex gloves if you have them. Here's a second option for adding color to the petals. I've started with the soft pastel, then I've added veins on the petals using a Sharpie and a color slightly darker than the paper. So when you make your lines, follow the shape of the petal. The lines will get closer at the base and make it appear slightly darker. You don't have to worry about going all the way to the edge of the bottom because that won't be seen in the finished flower. If you want, you can stop here with just these lines, or you can also add some at the bottom. Just kind of fade up as you go. That's going to make the base of the petal even a little bit darker and it kind of have a gradient effect. You can do that same thing at the tip to add a little more color there as well. So next we'll start shaping the petals. We're going to just cross those tabs over the center, and we're going to be doing 2 different layers of 18 petals. So the first layer you want this slight curve like you see here. The second layer will have a deeper curve. So add glue to the back of the side tabs. Then overlap those tabs over the center. Remember, this is the slightly less curved layer, so you only want to bring them to the center. For the second petal, we're creating a deeper curve, so it's going to stand up a little bit more. So we're actually going to cross those tabs in an X shape. Use this approach for the second set of 18 petals. So once again, add your glue to those tabs in the back, and then make that X. They don't all need to be exactly the same. A little variety will actually add something to your flower. The next step is curving the petals. You can also do this before you glue the tabs if you prefer. So you can shape by gently rolling back and forth. You can also rub on the edge of a table or apply pressure with closed scissor blades. Almost anything. Here, I'm using the Sharpie just because it happens to be handy. Make each petal unique. Roll some back, roll some forward, kind of roll some to the side. Having that variety will more readily mimic a real sunflower. So here are two finished petals. In the featured photo, I've used petals without the vein marks added. If you're interested, this is my favorite glue, Scotch Quick Dry Adhesive. Sometimes I can't find it with this particular label, but Scotch also has a quick dry tacky glue. It seems to be the same glue in a different label. So here's my stack of 36 finished petals ready to be assembled. The next step in this project is rolling the center fringe. Follow along in the next video. If you haven't already downloaded the templates, you can find the SVG and DXF files for this project at especiallypaper.com.